Hi, I am Annah Stretton, and as Chanel so eloquently sums up, leadership is foremostly about authenticity, identifying and staying true to yourself, your own self and vision. You must always dance to your own tune, and that said, I'm always learning new songs. And these days, coming to work, it's a bit like getting the entire library of iTunes dumped on my desk each day, and learning some tunes is absolutely mandatory. I suppose after authenticity, my second leadership trait is you can never be great at something if you don't love it. And my absolute passion has driven my business for 20 years. In fact, this year we're celebrating 20 years of success in one of the toughest industries on the planet, fashion. And over that time, I've led a team to grow a fashion brand of 30 stores. 4 of those are in Australia. We export globally and we have a multi-million-dollar turnover. And I've reached and touched and motivated thousands of New Zealand and now Australian women to buy Annah Stretton clothes. And if that was all, that I suppose that would be an accomplishment, but we went beyond dressing women a long time ago to connect meaningfully with our audience via a platform of print through Her magazine, which is distributed throughout New Zealand and promotes women's success and independence in business. So we're much more than a fashion brand. In fact, we pioneered social media and community development for women long before 2005, the year when Facebook started. I'll talk more about my leadership role in conjunction with our community soon, but before we talk about the application of leadership principles to a business environment, I'd like to define what I think is a primary function of leadership today, and that is transformation. My third leadership trait is transformation, and it's transforming the way that your employees think. You can see I've got just slides well. So high-performing leadership is multifaceted, and it requires a dedication to unlocking human potential, foremostly through a number of activities. And I suppose, one, leaders are vision creators. Leaders need to be visionary. They need to see where the organisation can be in 3, 5 and 10 years. You know, we ask ourselves, where will fashion be in even 3 years? And I know that it will be a very different landscape. Leaders need to generate new ideas. They need that cognitive capacity. And whilst they don't have the franchise on ideas within the company, the leader is either the source of ideas that change the product, business model or opportunity range of the enterprise, or the deciding agent. Leaders are team builders. They continually need to employ programs for skill development, but they also need to do effective cognitive reframing. And by reframing the context, I mean creating a new cognitive landscape for employees and stakeholders, enabling them to see the present and the future differently. Leaders also need to identify the gaps in resource and capability between present and future and work to fill those areas. The only leaders who will prosper going forward are those capable of substantially reframing the contents of value creation for customers. Leaders are people developers, and this is important because when you truly put the customer at the centre of the company's value creation and all you do and how you think, this enables a multitude of wonderful things to happen. It galvanises the team to work for the greatest possible customer experience, not just sales, but it empowers and encourages all employees to have a voice in innovation and to serve the community. It makes employees think of themselves as potential customers and bring real and workable ideas to the table, and focus on the team development around delivery of value creation, not just task completion. And that's a quantum leap in employee thinking, and it's one that must be taken by all. Leaders are also task allocators. They need to develop a skill of orchestrating complex ecosystems. And this also means leaders need to be cross-disciplinary in background and need a good handle on diverse areas like HR, IT and communication. And especially social media, and in my industry, new retail technologies. We can delegate, but we can never abdicate. And lastly, leaders are motivation stimulators. By focusing on value creation and by motivating, today's leaders are based on strengths, not titles, and they need to work in teams. Then teams need the 3 C's, and that's collaboration, content and choice, and the big R of recognition to ignite the creative potential. So leadership is a state of mind that embraces all these points. It's about vision, it's about spirit, it's about intention, and it's about character. And it's also about getting diverse individuals to work together as a team and inspiring the best leadership from within. And one of the most overlooked resources, and it's one that we drive all the time, and it's at your disposal within all companies, are entrepreneurs. And they are leaders from within. A leader can be anyone on the team who has a particular talent, and this recognition of insider knowledge and leadership has become mainstream, promoted by the creation of the company campus type of environments such as Google and Facebook. And anyone and everyone can contribute who can creatively think out of the box or has a great idea or experience in a certain aspect of the business or project that can prove useful to the manager of the team or the team. So as leaders, how should we lead, inspire and develop? Great leaders choose their leadership style like a fashionista chooses a pair of high-heeled shoes to accompany an outfit for an occasion, with calculated analysis of the matter at hand and the end goal and the best tool to do the job. Research says that a manager's leadership style is responsible for 30% of the company's bottom line, so that's far too much to ignore. I've identified 6 leadership styles of the academic Coleman, and I've uncovered the truth is that on any given day, with over 100 staff at our head office and retail stores around the country, I switch gears several times a day and may in fact practice all types of these. The first type of leadership is the pace-setting leader. They expect to model excellence and self-direction, and it's summed up in one phrase, and it would be do as I do or say now. It works best when the team is already motivated and skilled and the leader needs quick results. The next type of leader is the authoritative leader, and they mobilise the team towards a common vision and focus on end goals, leaving the means up to each individual. And it's summed up in one phrase and would be come with me. It works best when the team needs a new vision because of circumstances that may have changed. The affiliative leader works to create emotional bonds that bring a feeling of bonding and belonging to the organisation, and it's summed up in one phrase, and it would be, I suppose, people come first. It works best in times of stress, when teammates need to heal from a trauma or when a team needs to come together and needs to build a trust. The coaching leader develops people for the future, and summed up in what would say, try this. It works best when the leader wants to help teammates, building lasting personal strengths that make them more successful overall. The coercive leader demands immediate compliance, summed up in one phrase. It would be do what I tell you. It's most effective in times of crisis, such as in a company turnaround or a takeover attempt, or during an actual emergency like earthquake or fire. This style can also help to control a problem teammate. The democratic leader builds consensus through participation, summed up in one phrase. It would be, what do you think? It's most effective when a leader needs the team to buy in or to have ownership of a decision, plan or goal. Or if one is uncertain and needs fresh ideas from qualified teammates, it's not the best choice in an emergency situation when time is of essence. These are some of the characteristics of inspiring leaders that came from the Sunday Times Best Companies to Work For. A strong strategic focus ensures business only commits to work streams it has resources for. A lateral thinker takes a much broader view than normal. Vision and communication, customer-focused vision of the company. Principled, builds their values on honesty. Reflective, not afraid to show vulnerability. A risk taker, bends the rules. Accessible, takes time to get out and talk with people, and values attitudes, rates skills and training highly. So what does what does my leadership look like? So I suppose let's look at it home with the Stretton Group business model. For us, it's all about value creation, new thinking, getting creative, collaborating and teamwork. And in taking a leadership role with the Annah Stretton community, we will never be content with just selling frocks, as there's so much more we can do. Our purpose and our vision is to become the total support network for women and to have a good voice for the social good of New Zealand. In fact, we've also seen the writing on the wall with the old browse and transact model of retail, and we've developed the larger collaborative Birds of a Feather retail store, which sells frocks, beauty, flowers, cafes, eventing spaces. It's all about like-minded collaborations, and it's also about inspiring and engaging our community by creating spaces that women love to come, and it also enables the nurture projects that the company is involved in to have a platform of support and showcase over the duration of their incubation. So at the moment I have 3 nurture projects that are on the go, and these are all about a hand up, not a hand out. So it's a teach a man to fish principle. I'm working with Kitty Nathan, who's a bespoke fashion designer in Auckland, who has a very indigenous flavour. I'm working also with Phoenix Cosmetics, who's a beauty business that has a space within 8 of our Birds of a Feather stores, and one of those is also in Tasmania, so we've introduced her into the Australian market. And Tav, a Cook Island fashion designer that I've introduced into the Australian market, so I've enabled her to think about export capability as well. Another side to us is the publishing. Hermag and Pinkmag have enabled a voice and a heart around the brand and supported capability around women in New Zealand and New Zealand women working globally. We've told the stories of so many women that are achieving great things in business, but so often fly under the radar. I often speak, I've written 2 books, I support community events and local business, and I have an ongoing mentoring project. We're very active on social media, with blogging. We're about having a voice that makes a difference and drives real change over several different platforms, so it's fashion, business and social for us. We've developed a company culture that sees the customer as a 360-degree woman. She's not just a clothes horse, she's someone who looks, thinks, feels, worries, cares, learns and shares. The Million for a Million is where I endeavour to get 1 million New Zealanders to make a step change towards their health. As the 3rd most overweight nation, we were all about starting the health conversation over a variety of demographics. SPCA, SAFE and all the other animal charities are extremely dear to me, and personally I assist and support a variety of different levels. Our latest hobby horse is obviously we're heavily involved in stopping the testing and design of party pools on dogs. Endeavouring to make a real change to the social fabric of New Zealand is where this brand is at now. By using my brand and a large number of the women that we connect with daily, it simply enables us to put the heart into our business. So I've developed a voice that makes a difference, and I'm certainly not afraid to use it. We've identified the connection and the touch points where we can add value through business as usual delivery and special projects and events. We've stopped selling frocks. Our customer can buy these off the internet. We've become a service that enables women to meet a frocking need. Bearing in mind that 50% of women hate clothes shopping, so we've recognised this. We've developed a one-on-one styling service that's provided some very real takeaways and increased women's confidence. We've taught them how to dress for body shape, not body weight, as fat truly is a feminist issue. We've seen them move away from the random strip shopping of the past, and while our demographic is possibly not making her physical purchase off the internet, she's certainly making her selection here and then targeting the destination. Those that are waiting for retail to return to its former glory, given the supposed ongoing recessive environment, are sorely deluded. Ongoing one-on-one styling sessions with women have provided a real connection for the brand with the customer and driven access to many new large groups of women, such as accountants, lawyers, real estate agents, nurses and teachers, by creating spaces that allow eventing in store. And this has introduced a huge demographic to us. We've also developed products and services that meet and deliver on needs, creating real value behind the brand, as well as the styling and events. We've looked at Hire Me, which is a hire service around the frocks that we have. We've created wedding capsules where we not only dress the bride, but the mother of the groom, the mother of the bride, the bridesmaids and the wedding guests. The infamous chameleon dress, the one frock that does everything but change your light bulbs. And Stitch and Bitch projects where we've endeavoured to reignite sewing and get women to reconnect with their past. At the end of the day, we are so many others simply sell frocks, we've had to constantly set ourselves apart. How do we make our boat go faster and ensure ongoing engagement with our community? We identify where we should be meeting our customers in the virtual world and developing a strong, ongoing and authentic voice. We know how important digital platforms are. We embrace them and believe that if you're not digital now, you will not be relevant. Electronic data mail-outs, LinkedIn, our newsletters, Facebook profiles and pages, Twitter and Pinterest, and I blog twice weekly. Authenticity is so important on these platforms. We don't just sell stuff. We will never bring analog behaviours to digital platforms. And finally, what's next for us? Forecasting out 3 to 5 years to stay ahead of the curve, but not getting ahead of our market is the biggest challenge. TechTail, our website will become our flagship store and our strongest brand statement. We will be socially non-conforming and operationally conservative. This will include an active social media presence, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, as I mentioned, and we'll continue to open up the Australian East Coast with more of the collaborative Birds of a Feather stores. We'll convert more of our single-cell retail stores in New Zealand to the Birds environment, and we will develop a complete styling and venting program that can be uniformly exercised by all senior team members. And we will continue to search for amazing women that are a perfect fit with our brand and that enable the success that we have in this market and drive the outcomes that we need. So in conclusion, the brave may not live forever, but the cautious have not lived at all. Thank you.
Now we have some minutes for questions. Anyone? Any questions for Anna?
Anna, who's responsible for driving research and innovation in your organisation?
We've got a marketing digital strategist that works and heads up that side of the operation.
And new ideas?
Same area that comes from, but we work in fashion, so the reality of putting together creative collections each year is such that the whole environment is relatively creative, so those ideas are channeling through all levels, so retail level as well as the design as well.
Anyone else? Otherwise, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
presentation.